Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. It's been a while, but I am grateful to be here. For today's practice, we're going to have a 60-minute or so Heart Opening Vinyasa flow. So I'm feeling pretty inspired to share this practice because as human beings having this spiritual experience, we are these bundles of consciousness and these bundles of energy that are constantly interacting within ourselves and within our immediate environment. So oftentimes throughout the day, we're constantly picking up information, we're constantly picking up energy from our environment and from the people that we interact with. So it's important to do something like a yoga practice to clear ourselves out, to return to our true nature, to return to the pure essence of our being. So that is what this practice is for, and this practice is also designed to help open and just release within our hearts and to approach life with an open heart and an open mind, and embracing the totality of our being. So no props are needed for today's class, but if you need blocks or anything to support you in your practice, feel free to use those. Always remember that this is your practice, so any modifications that can assist you, you're more than welcome to do so. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started by finding any comfortable seated position on your yoga mat. You can be sitting on a bolster or on a block if that helps you bring the hips above the knees, if that helps you with the lengthening of your spine. And as you arrive to your position, just take a moment to settle into your physical body here. So just taking a moment to close the eyes, to start just noticing the natural rhythm of your breath, not modifying it or making it anything other than it is, but rather just noticing and observing it as it is, feeling whatever points of contact you are making with the earth. See if you can notice a lengthening within the spine here, perhaps growing a little bit taller. Allowing the shoulders to relax back and down. Just creating a little bit more space between the shoulders and the ears. See if you can slightly, ever so slightly, tuck the chin in towards the chest, just to create a little bit of length within the back of the neck. And softening through the muscles of the face here, just softening through the jaw, softening through the nose, through the eyes, the lips, the forehead, and the nostrils here as well. Even releasing and softening through the ears and the side of the head, the temple area. And see if you can take a moment here feeling yourself arrive into your practice. Again, just noticing the natural rhythm of your breath. And as we feel the lengthening within the back of the neck, see if you can feel the crown of the head growing just a tiny little bit higher up above. Still feeling the points of contact that you're making with the earth here. And as we get started with this heart opening practice, we'll go ahead and take a few clearing breaths together here. Just collectively setting this intention to release our entire day with these 3 breaths. Releasing anything that you've experienced experience today and anything that's yet to come. So with a big inhale, feeling up through the nose. Open mouth, audible exhale. Again, inhale, fill up chest and belly. Open mouth, release. Last one, big inhale, filling all the way up. And open mouth, exhale, release. Sealing the lips. Once again, just returning to the natural rhythm of your breath here. See if you can maintain this inner connection. The inner connection can derive from any focal point. It can be your breath, it can be the points of contact that you're making with the earth. Go ahead and maintain this inner connection, or whatever intention that you seek to set forth for your individual practice that best suits you in this present moment, and cultivating that, breathing into that, feeling into that, and within your totality, allowing yourself to transition into our tabletop pose. So coming into our tabletop pose, just allowing the hands to be shoulder distance apart, allowing the knees to be hips distance apart, creating some length within the spine. Feel the back of your neck lengthening here. Again, reaching forward through the crown of the head, reaching the sits bones behind you. Now warming up with some cat-cows. As we inhale, we're going to bring the belly down, gaze up. Exhale, rounding through the back. Inhale, belly down, gaze up. Exhale, round cat. Inhale, belly down, gaze up. Exhale, cat. And once more, inhale, belly down, gaze up. Exhale, round. Taking a few more spinal flexions on your own here, or at your own pace, I should say. Just giving yourself the opportunity to start synchronizing your breath with your movement. And returning back to a neutral spine. We're going to go ahead and take some barrel rolls here. So taking the spinal movement as we bring the chest down and we round through the back. And bring the chest down and we round through the back. So just feeling into this, and just notice what's alive, what's present within your experience. Noticing if there's any tension within the spine. Perhaps your spine is feeling fluid and supple here. As we switch directions, again, just feeling into the spinal movements, and then returning back into your tabletop. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to start tucking the toes under, and we're going to bring the wrists face down to face ourselves, and then with a little bend in the elbows, we're just going to start rolling forward and back here. Forward and back. Opening and releasing any sort of tension within the wrists. Taking this at your own pace. And then releasing what you have. Keep the palms facing down, fingers facing outwards, and we're going to start taking some circles here. So just feeling into the intensity that this posture, this stretch may bring. Just allow yourself to observe it, to be present with it while maintaining mindfulness. So switch directions of your circles here. Circles can be as small or as big as you like. Always taking care of our wrist health. Our wrists and our hands do so much for us in our yoga practice, so just making sure that we're showing them some love here. Then allow yourself to return back to a neutral tabletop, and then this last little stretch here, we're going to bring the palms facing up, fingers facing towards the middle. We're going to curl the fingers into a fist, and we're going to start taking some circles again here. Breathing into the extensors, the muscles on the top of the forearm. And just noticing an intention that may be present here and allowing yourself to breathe into that. As we switch directions of our circles. Beautiful. And then returning back to tabletop, we're going to make sure that the toes are tucked under. We're going to sit our hips back so that the hips are on top of the heels. You can manually tuck your pinky toe if needed. Create some length within the spine. Extend the arms forward. Palms face out. We're going to bring the left hand on top of the right. Interlace the fingers as you bend the hands in and out. So from here, just a nice stretch into the wrists. You can take some little swivels from side to side if that helps you. And then bring it back in and release, switching sides, right hand on top of the left, interlace the fingers, bring the hands in and out, and breathe into the wrist. And you can take some shoulder rolls here. And then bringing it in and out and just shaking it out side to side, front and back. And coming back into your tabletop, let's go ahead and keep the toes tucked under. We're going to lift the knees up so they can hover right off of the ground. Start engaging through the core here, lengthening through the back. Pretend that there's a glass of water on your sits bones and see if you can maintain the balance if it were there. Keep the back of the neck long. Keep reaching forward through the crown of the head. Press the hands into the earth. Feel the core start to engage. Feel your quads firing here. Keep pressing the hands into the earth, slightly rounding through the upper back, but make sure that your sits bones are still parallel to the earth. Deep breaths here. Engage Mula Bandha if that's in your practice. Last breath here. And then straighten out through the legs. Let's come into a plank pose. So maintaining the strengthening within the hands, within the shoulders, within the back of the heels. See if you can feel one long line of energy from the crown of your head all the way down to your heels. Again, slight little rounding through the upper back. Last breath. And then allow
allow the sits bones to reach back and up. Coming into your downward facing dog, give yourself a few moments to pedal at the feet, wiggle out the body. Now, it's important to mention here, as we take some movement in our downward facing dog, just acknowledging how our asana practice, our postures, are meant more as a clarifying element to the yogic path. So, as we do these asanas, as we stretch, as we sweat, as we build strength, this is essentially like wringing out a wet towel, and it's detoxifying, it's purging, it's releasing any stagnations within the physical body. But the yogic path, there are 8 limbs to it. So an asana, this practice, is only one of those branches. So I just want to shed light on the totality of this experience, and the yoga asana practice is only one of those elements. So I highly encourage and recommend for each yoga practitioner or those who are interested in yoga to dive a little bit deeper into yogic philosophy, pranayama techniques, different yogic cleansing techniques, so one can have a greater understanding for what it means to live a yogic lifestyle. That includes how we approach life when we are on the mat, and it includes how we approach life when we're off the mat, which is oftentimes where the real yoga practice begins. So I'm just wanting to shed some light upon that. So just in your downward facing dog, allow the sits bones to reach back and up. And then from here, let's practice some Mula Bandha engagement. So while we're pressing into the hands, let's lift that left foot to hover just an inch off of the mat. And then release it back down. Let's go ahead and switch. Press the left foot into the earth and hover the right foot just an inch off the mat. Beautiful. Release down. Now from here, let's roll ourselves forward one vertebra at a time, coming into our plank pose. And then let's lift the sits bones back and up, downward facing dog. Few more just like that. Inhale, roll yourself forward one vertebra at a time, plank pose. Exhale, hips come back and up, downward facing dog. 2 more. Inhale, roll yourself forward one vertebra at a time. Exhale, lift the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Last one. Inhale, roll yourself forward, plank pose. Exhale, hips back and up, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, roll yourself forward one vertebra at a time, plank pose. And then as you exhale, super slow motion, start lowering your weight down onto your belly. How slow can you go here? And release the chest down onto the earth, untuck through the toes, hands under the shoulders. With an inhale, lengthen through the spine, press the lower half of the body into the earth, gaze forward or up. Exhale, release down. Let's do that again. Inhale, press the lower half of the body, tops of the feet into the earth, lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale, release down. One last time here. Inhale, press the tops of the feet into the earth, press the lower half of the body down, lengthen through the low back, reach the crown of the head forward, and release down. Beautiful. With an inhale, press yourself up either into a cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, use your core, hips come back and up, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a moment to pedal the feet here as needed. Building some internal heat, some tapas. And then with an inhale, let's gaze forward. As we exhale, step, hop, or float your way up to the front. Forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, melt and fold. Inhale, roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. Hands reach up, bring the gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, hands reach up, gaze up, sun salutations. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, down dog, or forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet back. Arrive at your plank pose, and let's hold it for a moment. Feel the core engaged. Feel your belly button pressing up against your spine. Feel your hands like suction cups pressing down into the earth, slightly rounding through the upper back. With an inhale, roll yourself forward, shoulders over wrist. As you exhale, chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, roll yourself back. One vertebra at a time, downward dog. Great. And now here, take a breath, full breath in down dog. As we exhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step, hop, float your way up towards the front, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up, one vertebra at a time, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Again, inhale, hands reach up, gaze up, press the soles of the feet into the earth. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, hands down, step the feet back, plank pose. Inhale, let's go ahead and roll forward, shoulders over wrist. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in your down dog. And as you inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step, hop, float your feet up towards the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up, rise up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. You can keep the eyes open here, or you can slightly close the eyes. Just tuning into the sensations between your palms. Just noticing the sensations of warmth, of heat. And the element of heat is very important in our yoga practice, because if we think of the element of heat in general, the fire element is one of purification. So within our yoga practice, as we build heat, as we build this warmth, it serves as an agent for purifying not only our muscles, but also our nadis, our energetic channels that permeate, that course throughout our body. So using the element of heat here to start the process of transformation, essentially, and we use the breath, we use the element of air to fuel that fire. So again, it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you move here, take this at your own pace. Allow your breath, the element of air, to fuel your fire at your own rhythm. So let's continue here with some classical Hatha sun salutations. With an inhale, hands up, reach up, gaze up. As we exhale, hinge again, forward fold. Inhale, let's step the right foot back, lower the right knee. Hands come down to your hips here at first, just making sure that we have the proper alignment. So make sure that your feet either feel or physically look and see that your feet are somewhat of hips distance apart here. Feel your right hip draw back in space as your right hip draws forward in space. Make sure that your tailbone, your sacrum is as flat as possible as you create some length within the spine. As you lengthen the spine, see if you can lift up through the chest and let the shoulders roll back and down. Beautiful. Feel the engagement within both legs here as you have a scissoring action, again, of that left thigh drawing back and that right hip drawing forward. Optional here, with an inhale, you can reach the hands up, lengthening through the spine, engage the core if you're back bending here. And then as you exhale, hands come down,
Left foot steps back or hovers as you flow through your vinyasa here. Meeting back in downward facing dog.
Beautiful. From down dog, with an inhale, let's step the right foot forward, lower the left knee, keep the toes tucked, rise up through the upper half of the body and hands come back onto the hips. And just focusing on the foundational elements of this posture before we start picking up some rhythm with it. So just making sure again here that your hands are on the hips and that you feel the engagement within both legs, actively engaging and strengthening through the right quad, pressing the right foot down, spreading the toes of that right foot, and really reaching that pinky, pressing that right pinky toe and the right big toe down into the earth. Feel the right hip pull back as the left hip pushes forward. Again, if Mula Bandha is in your practice, a little subtle engagement of Mula Bandha. Keep lengthening through the spine here, maintaining awareness on the left toes as well. Right here, continue lengthening through the spine, allowing the shoulders to roll back and down. Core is slightly engaged, lifting up through the chest, but continue to breathe. And optional, reaching the hands up with an inhale. Keep elevating through the chest, through the sternum. If you're going for a little back bend here, make sure that the core is engaged. And then with an exhale, allow the hands to release down. Step the right foot back or hover, float it. As you exhale, flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling up, dog cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And take a breath here in your downward facing dog. So this is actually a slight variation of the sun salutation that I was going for, but it's okay, we'll roll with it. With an inhale, let's gaze forward, and then as we exhale, let's step hop. Float your way up towards the front, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up, rise up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Second side, as we inhale, hands reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge and fold, forward fold. Inhale, now let's step that left foot back. Release the left knee down. As you inhale, you can right away bring the hands up. Apply all the engagements that were mentioned previously. Let's stay in this for a moment just to make sure that we're scissoring the legs together. Right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. Engage Mula Bandha if that's in your practice. Keep the core engaged if you're going for a little back bend here. Active through the quads, through the hip flexors. Take one more inhale, maybe reach a little bit higher, don't have to. Exhale, release the hands down. Step the right foot back or allow it to hover as you flow through your vinyasa. We'll be back in downward facing dog. Switching sides here. With an inhale, let's bring the left foot forward. Right knee drops down. Allow yourself to roll up, rise up. Hands reach up. Bring the gaze up at the palms. Again, here we'll hold for a moment. So gaze on the palms. Bring your awareness to the points of contact that you're making with the earth. Press the left sole of the foot down into the earth. Right toes scissoring the legs together. Left hip pulls back as right hip pushes forward. Slight Mula Bandha engagement. Engage through the core. Lift the chest up. Slight little back bend optional. Make sure core is engaged if doing so. One last inhale, and then as we exhale, let's release the hands down. Step the right foot forward, meeting in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up, rise up. Reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. One more round. Inhale, hands up, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, lower knee, hands reach up. Exhale, release the hands down, left foot steps back or hovers as we flow through our vinyasa. Meeting at downward facing dog. Once in down dog, as you inhale, right foot steps forward, lower left knee down, hands reach up, gaze comes up, and then as you exhale, left foot steps forward, forward, forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up, rise up, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Second side, inhale, hands up, reach up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, step the left foot back, lower the left knee, hands come up. And then as you exhale, release the hands down, flow through your vinyasa. Right foot can hover or release all the way down, taking it at your own pace, meeting in downward facing dog. Now with an inhale, step the left foot forward, right knee lowers as the hands reach up, gaze comes up. Exhale, step the right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up, rise up, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Again, bring the sensations back into the hands, between the palms, and into the heart. And just notice your heart rate, notice your breath, notice any sweat that you've generated, and just allow yourself to be fully present with that while remaining softly rooted or actively rooted within the soles of your feet down into the earth. Actually feel yourself fully anchored within your feet and feel yourself lengthening through the spine. Beautiful. Now as we continue practicing here, I just want to bring awareness to the fact that there is a decreased amount of sunlight present within my physical space. So hopefully there can be a modification for that to best suit your needs of vision if using the screen for your practice. Otherwise, hopefully the oral guidance directions can support you in your journey. So with that, let's go ahead and transition to a little bit more heat building here before we start winding down. So with an inhale, let's meet in our Utkatasana chair pose. Allow yourself to fully arrive in your chair pose. Eyes can be open or closed as you bring awareness to the activation of the quads. Feel the weight shifting towards the heels here, so you can slightly lift the toes off the ground. You can also spread the toes wide if you'd like, and allow yourself to create some length within the sits bones. Keep reaching your tailbone down towards the earth as you keep lengthening through the spine, strengthening through the legs while simultaneously lengthening the low back. Keep lifting up the chest, perhaps bringing the gaze up between the hands. Take another breath here, you're doing great. And maybe allow yourself to slowly sit a little bit deeper, taking it at your own pace. Beautiful, inch by inch, millimeter by millimeter, sitting a little bit deeper here. Strong through the heels, strong through the quads. Keep lifting up through the chest, lengthening through the spine. Let's take one more big inhale here. And then as we exhale, forward fold, release the hands down towards the earth. You can take a little bit of a bending one leg and the other, just to get a little movement in the hips. And then with an inhale, let's come back, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. As we exhale, make your way back through your vinyasa, floating through your chaturanga, inhaling through your upward facing dog, and exhaling into your downward facing dog. Take a breath here in your downward facing dog. And then as you inhale, let's press the left foot into the earth as we lift up through the right foot. And just give yourself a moment to take a few hip circles here. Pressing the hands into the earth. Pressing the left foot into the earth. And switch directions. Inhale, extend, right leg reaches up. And then as you exhale, stack the right hip on top of the left, taking some ankle circles here. And switching direction of your circles. Then allowing that right foot to step all the way back, coming into your wild thing. So press feet into earth, lift up through the chest. Full breath here. And then as we inhale, let's meet back in our three-legged dog. And then as we exhale, release the right foot down, switch sides. Inhale, left foot reaches up and start taking some hip circles. And switching direction of your circles. Allowing as much fluidity within that hip joint as possible. Then re-extending left leg, stack left hip on top of right. Start taking some ankle circles here. Keep hands rooted into the earth as you switch direction of your ankle circles. And then allow that left foot to step all the way back, meeting in our wild thing. Lifting up through the chest, pressing the right hand into the earth. And then with an inhale, let's meet back in our three-legged dog. Exhale, release, left foot down. Again, inhale, right leg reaches up, three-legged dog. Let's stack the right hip on top of the left and just reach your right toes as far back as you can. Take a few more ankle circles here. And switching directions. And let's step that right foot all the way back again. Wild thing, open the chest. Press left hand into earth. Elevate through the hips. Inhale, meeting back, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. And let's slide the knee up towards the armpit. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, again, right knee, right elbow. And slide it up towards the armpit. Last time, inhale, extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Let's slide it up towards the armpit. Inhale, extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, let's bring the knee in towards the chest and let's hold it for a moment. Press the hands into the earth. Lift the right knee as close as you can towards the chest, rounding through the upper back, engage the core. Take a breath. And then release, step the right foot forward. Ground down through the right foot. Feel the feet hips distance apart, and then on your own time, inhale, roll yourself up, one vertebra at a time. Hands can come to the hips at first, or you can extend the hands facing up. Now from your high crescent lunge, feel the right hip draw back as the left hip draws forward. Strengthen through that right quad. Spread the toes of that right foot wide. Press all toes of the right foot down into the earth. Feel yourself supported by the left foot, the left toes. Slightly engage through the core, lengthen through the low back and through the entire spine. Lift the chest. Shoulders roll back and down. Reach the fingertips up. Create some length with an inhale here. And then as we exhale, release the hands down towards the earth. And flow through your vinyasa. Second side, inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Slide it up towards the armpit. Inhale, extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Slide it up. Inhale, extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Slide it up. And inhale, extend, left leg reaches up. Exhale, knee towards chest. Press hands into earth. Draw the knee and the thigh up towards the chest. Engage through the core. You're strong here. Press the hands into the earth, round through the upper back. And then slowly release. Left foot down. On your own time, rise up. High crescent lunge here.
Hands can come to hips, or you can immediately raise them up. Allow the left hip to draw back as the right hip draws forward. Left knee directly over the left ankle. Strong through the left quad. Lift up through the left toes. Spread the toes wide. Press the toes down into the earth. Slight Mula Bandha engagement if that's in your practice. Continue lengthening through the spine here, allowing the navel to slightly press in towards the spine. Lift up through the chest bone here. Rest of the body stays intact. Shoulders slightly roll back and down. Keep reaching up through the fingertips, creating a long line of energy. One more inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release the hands down. Step footsteps back as you flow through your vinyasa. Lean back and down dog. Let's keep going for it here with an inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. Stack right hip on top of left. Allow the left right foot to step all the way back. Wild thing. Lift up through the hips. Press left hand into earth. Inhale, extend. Three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, right wrist. Slide it up towards the armpit. Down towards the wrist. Up towards the armpit. Down towards the wrist. Last one. Up towards the armpit. Down towards the wrist. Inhale, extend, three-legged dog. And exhale, step the right foot through. Roll up, rise up, high crescent lunge. Familiar territory here. Maintain the engagements we did previously. Keep lifting up through the chest. Keep strong through the low half of the body. Take a big inhale here. And then as you exhale, you can interlace the fingers into Kali Mudra. Every finger except for index finger and thumb engage, cross, and interlace. Core engages. Lift the chest. Abdomen is strong. One more inhale here. And then as you exhale, release the hands. Cactus the arms. Inhale. High crescent lunge, strong through the legs. And then as you exhale, let's bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Coming into a twisted crescent lunge here. Legs are still strong and active. Press the left elbow into the outside of the right knee. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head. Hands can stay in prayer, or you can open up your arms, opening up through the chest here. You can stay here, or right hand can reach back for the left inner thigh, and optional, left hand can thread through for a bind here. If you are in the bind, or if your arms are open, you can start rolling that right shoulder open, opening through the chest a little more. And if breath permits, you can start bringing the gaze up towards the right shoulder. Take it at your own pace here. Keep scissoring the legs. Full awareness and engagement activation through the lower half of the body. Everything is working here. And then, if you have the bind, slowly start to release. And then wherever you are, let's use the strength of our legs and our core to lift the upper half of the body, coming into our revolved crescent lunge. Legs are still scissoring together here. Chest is wide open. Gaze can come back towards the right thumb if the neck allows. Otherwise, gaze where comfortable. Take one more breath here. And then right hand can come back of left thigh. You can take a little reverse here. And then with an inhale, let's rise back up. High crescent lunge, maybe a little back bend. And then as you exhale, start shifting your weight forward. Find your way into a warrior three. You can start with a little bend in the right leg.
Hips are square here. Reach back through the left toes. Reach the crown of the head forward. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Squeeze the back of the shoulder blades together. Keep opening through the heart, through the chest. Steady the gaze at a single point of focus, a little bit out in front. Steady with the breath, steady with the gaze here. And then super slow motion, start bringing a bend into that right leg as you release the left toes down towards the earth. With an inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge. And then as you exhale, come into your warrior two just for a moment this first time around. In your warrior two, externally rotate through the right knee, active through the lower half of the body, lengthen through the spine, reach out through the fingertips, steady the gaze, a little bit forward and in front, maybe bending a little bit deeper into that front leg. Keep the upper half of the body in the center. With an inhale, front palm faces up. As you exhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the bend in the front leg. Stretch the right side of the body. Inhale, warrior two. And then as you exhale, come forward. Extended side angle just for a moment here. With an inhale, roll yourself up, warrior two. And then as you exhale, hands release down. Flow through your vinyasa. Leaning back and down dog. So before we get into the second side here, it's just important to mention how to take it at your own pace. Always taking it whatever is comfortable for you, and over time we start to build strength, we start to build flexibility and more subtle awareness of our engagements and lack of engagements throughout our practice. So let's get into that second side while we're hot. With an inhale, left leg reaches back, three-legged dog. And then let's stack the left hip on top of the right. And since we didn't do it on the other side, let's keep that left leg straight as we reach the left toes as far back as we can, taking a few ankle rolls here. And keep pressing into the hands, into the earth, and switch direction of your circles on that left foot. Slow motion, step that left foot all the way back, coming into your wild thing. Open through the chest, lift the hips up, and then with an inhale, find your way back. Three-legged dog, reach the toes, and then exhale, left knee, left wrist, slide it up towards the armpit. Inhale, slide it down. Exhale, slide it up. Last time, inhale, slide it down. Exhale, slide it up. Inhale, extend, reach the toes back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot through, ever so mindfully. Start rolling yourself up, one vertebrae at a time, high crescent lunge. Before we begin here, let's do that same suction cupping action as we did with our hands. Let's do that with our feet. So just bringing awareness to the feet, making sure that the toes are spread wide and we're suctioning down through the feet, at least the left foot. Scissoring the legs here. Breathe into the strength of your left quad. Breathe into the strength of your right leg. Draw the left hip back as you draw the right hip forward. Slight mula bandha engagement if that's in your practice. And then with an inhale, keep drawing up through the chest, lifting up the chest, slight engagement of the core. Maybe a little back bend with Kali Mudra here, interlacing all the fingers except for the index finger and thumb. Steady the gaze of the eyes, steady the breath. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, right elbow comes onto the outside of the left knee. And you can always lower the right knee if needed, and you can rest here. And then you can always straighten the right leg, or you can come you can come straight into your twisted crescent lunge. So just take a moment to fully arrive into this posture. Hands can stay and pray in front of the heart, or you can open up your wings. And just knowing the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Sthita Sukham Asanam, knowing that a yoga posture is a steady and comfortable position. So no need to push yourself, no need to force yourself in any pose at any time. So we want to make sure that whatever pose it is that we're in, and any pose that we're in, so if you're still with the open arms, feel free to take the half bind, reaching the left hand back for the right inner thigh. And if you took the full bind, you can interlace, make that connection. And then you can draw the gaze up towards the left shoulder, if you did so on the other side. Otherwise, staying in whatever position you're most comfortable in, and allow yourself to breathe where you are. Settle into your breath. So as I was mentioning, a yoga posture is any posture that is both steady and comfortable. So we want to have both elements of that within our practice. So we want to have a steadiness of breath, steadiness of awareness, and we want to be able to somewhat rest within that posture. And if that isn't the case, then modifying is needed so we can cultivate the steadiness and the comfortability within the posture. We're still doing our best to challenge ourselves, but not doing so at the stake of our steadiness and our comfortability. So if you have the interlace, allow yourself to slowly start to release that. Again, using the strength of your legs, using the strength of your core, start to lift yourself up. Coming into your revolved crescent lunge here. Keep the heart open. Gaze can work its way back towards the left thumb, or anywhere that it's comfortable on the neck. Take one more breath here. And then with an inhale, let's rise back up, high crescent lunge. And then as we exhale, let's open up into our warrior two stance. Give yourself a moment to externally rotate through that left knee. Allow yourself to fully settle into this pose. Left knee directly over the left ankle. Engagement through the legs, lengthening through the upper half of the body, reaching out through the fingertips on both sides. Then with an inhale, front palm faces up. And as you exhale, reverse your warrior here. Stretch into the left side of the body. Create some length. Walk, keeping the bend in the left leg. Inhale, come forward, extended warrior two. And then as you exhale, come forward, extended side angle. Strong through the legs here. Not really allowing ourselves to be lazy in any of these poses. Keep breathing into the legs, opening through the chest. And then on your own time, with an inhale, rise back up, warrior two. Then as you exhale, windmill the hands down as you flow through your vinyasa. We'll make our way back into our downward facing dog. And then take a moment to lower the knees down. Let's come into a child's pose. So allow the upper half of the body to rest over the thighs. You can lower the forehead down towards the earth. Hands can stay overhead. Just settle back into your breath, back into your heart rate. as you're ready to do so, staying connected with the breath, with the body, let's find our way back into our downward facing dog. And just to balance out both sides, we missed a warrior 3 on the second side, so we'll go ahead and do that. So on your own time, step that left foot forward as you start just shifting your way forward into your warrior 3. So you can keep a little bend in that left leg, hips are square, keep reaching back through the right toes. Hands can be supported by blocks, or you can interlace the fingers behind the back, opening through the chest just a little bit more here. Take another breath or two. And then slowly start bending that left leg as we release the right toes. Inhaling, rising up, high crescent lunge. And then now let's go ahead and exhale, hands release down as we flow through our vinyasa. Leaning back in downward facing dog. Beautiful. So now with an inhale, let's go ahead and gaze forward. As we exhale, step, hop, or float your way up towards the front. Releasing your sits bones down into the earth. Straightening the legs forward and in front. Let's go ahead and lengthen through the legs. Sits bones rooted down into the earth. Remove the flesh from underneath the bums. Flex the toes towards your forehead. With an inhale, hands reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge and fold, coming into your forward fold here. Take a moment to arrive into your forward fold. Luckily, we are done with the challenging portion of our standing posture. So now it's using that heat to create a little bit more flexibility within the body. So as we melt, as we engage into our forward fold, let's go ahead and make sure that we're active through the upper half of the legs. We're pulling the kneecaps up. We're engaging, flexing the quads. We're lengthening through the hamstrings. And our gaze is on the toes, the big toes here. Now, with inhales, continue lengthening through the spine. And then with exhales, continue hinging a little bit deeper. Do your best to keep the heart open here, minimizing the rounding through the back. You can interlace the fingers around the big toes if that helps you. And let's take another big inhale here, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, hinge and fold. Let's take one more together. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Feel your thigh, your belly melting towards your thighs. And let's take one more. Last one. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, hinge a little bit deeper. Beautiful. And as we inhale, it's lengthen through the spine. And then as we exhale, reach as far forward as you can. Keeping the length in the spine. Depending on your flexibility, using any props as needed, just allowing ourselves to fold as deeply as we can to get the most out of this hamstring stretch here. Beautiful. Then on your own time, with an inhale, roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. Let's cross the right leg over the left. Shift weight towards the left. Left heel comes towards the right butt. Right hand, base of the spine, supporting the base of the spine. As you inhale, reach the left arm up. And then as you exhale, bring the left elbow towards the outside of the right knee, coming into a twist here. Allow yourself to reconnect with your breath as you melt the gaze over towards the right shoulder, opening up the chest. Keep lengthening through the spine, pressing the right sole of the foot down into the earth. And then with an inhale, release, come back into a hip stretch. So either finding a simple cross-legged position or come to a cow's face pose. And from here, we want to make sure that both feet are flexed, knees are facing forward, and then let's lengthen with the spine with an inhale. Hands can come up as well. And then as we exhale, let's hinge and fold forward. Only a few breaths here in our hip opener. But as we are here, allow the chest to remain open. Allow your sits bones to magnetize towards the earth. Keep flexion in both feet, keeping the lower half of the body active. Steady the gaze, steady the breath. And let's release here, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Uncrossing through the legs. Straightening the legs, you can give the legs a little bounce. Windshield wiper the feet from side to side. And let's switch sides here. The left leg crosses over right. Shift towards the right. Right sole of the foot towards the left butt. Left hand supports the back of the spine. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, right knee towards the outside of the left elbow, or you can hug the knee in towards the chest. Give yourself a moment to settle in here. And as we come into this twist, making sure that that left foot is pressing down into the earth. The gaze, it's making its way back towards the left shoulder. Maintaining the length within the spine. And steadiness of the breath. Our breath can often be challenged or hindered within our twists. So just allow yourself to maintain a full diaphragmatic breathing experience here. Beautiful, and as you grow a little bit taller, we'll go ahead and release here. Find your way back towards the middle. Let's go ahead and find our hip opener through a simple cross-legged position or your cow's face pose, stacking one leg on top of the other, bringing flexion to both feet. With an inhale, reach the hands up, maybe gaze up or forward. And then as you exhale, hinge and fold here, arriving into your forward fold. Now as you breathe into the hip, here on this side, make sure that you maintain the flexion through the feet. Oftentimes, just noticing any differences or similarities between both sides. I know for myself in this moment, the left hip is storing a lot more tension than the right hip, so just be aware and maintain curiosity within that. And as always, allow the breath to flow freely throughout the body. Keep the chest open as best as possible here. Allow yourself to remain engaged, present as a witness to this posture in this present moment. And on your own time, start rolling up one vertebra at a time. Let's uncross through the legs and straighten the legs forward and in front, balancing the legs up and down, windshield wiper the feet from side to side. And let's go ahead and start finding our way onto our backs. So we are probably either at or beyond our 60-minute mark, so we'll go ahead, just for the sake of maintaining it within a reasonable amount of time for this practice in particular, we'll go ahead and start winding down. So just coming onto our backs, we'll do a little back bend here to finish off our heart opening, and then we'll close out our practice here together. So we'll set up for a bridge pose. If full Urdhva Dharma is in your practice, feel free, you're more than welcome to take that variation as well. But for our bridge, let's line up the tips of the fingers with the heels of the feet. And then feet are hip distance apart. And now with an inhale, let's lift up through the hips here, arriving into our back bend. So for today, we're going to go ahead and interlace the fingers behind the back if possible. As we lift up through the hips, maybe a little bit higher, we can roll the shoulders underneath the back. Now it's important for the safety of our neck to not turn from side to side. Rather, keep your gaze focused up. Allow the heels of the feet to press into the earth. Engage through the quads. Release through your glutes. And draw your belly button a little bit higher here. If possible. You don't need to first. Now, whether you're in your bridge or your wheel, just take a few conscious, full, and relaxed breaths here. Now, on your own time, no need to rush. Stay in this back bend as long as you need, as long as suits your needs. Allow yourself to experience the heart opening of this posture. But when you are ready to transition, start rolling yourself down one vertebrae at a time. Super slow motion. Sits bones, release down towards the earth. Feel your sacrum connecting to the ground beneath you. Relax through the legs. And coming into a supine twist, let's go ahead and draw the knees over towards the right. Gaze comes towards the left. You can start closing the eyes if you haven't already. Starting to soothe the nervous system here. After all the back bending, we just want to make sure that we can massage the lowermost discs, that we protect our lower back. And staying present here as we switch sides, knees fall towards the left, gaze comes over towards the right. Allowing the nervous system to start to release and to start to cultivate a sense of calm and relaxation. Start making our way towards our final posture while allowing ourselves to remain fully present within the here and now. And as you feel balance between both sides, let's bring the knees back towards the middle. Now, closing your practice any way you'd like. You can take a shoulder stand, plow pose. You can come into happy baby. Taking a few more moments here to close out your practice in whatever way you'd like. Taking a few more breaths here. And as you're ready to do so, starting to find your way towards your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Integrating the benefits of our practice here, allowing us to fully nourish the totality of our being here. So as you start to settle into your Shavasana, just give yourself as much space as you need. Feet can come out wide, arms out wide. You can enter to your method of relaxation. If you need a blanket or any pillows or bolsters, you're more than welcome to incorporate those. And for the sake of the here and now, we'll go ahead and settle into our Shavasana through one last movement together. So we're going to fully tense the entire body. We're going to fully vibrate and fully squeeze every single muscle of the body, from the toes to the thighs to the quads to the belly to the hands to the fists to the face to the muscles of the back of the neck. We're going to tense every single muscle, and then with a double exhale through the mouth, we're going to release and then enter into our Shavasana. So as you're ready, taking a big inhale here, just filling up the lungs. At the top of the breath, start squeezing the hands into fists. Squeeze the legs, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the butt cheeks, squeeze the abdomen, squeeze the core, the chest, the biceps, the forearms, the muscles of the face, the back of the neck. Squeeze, vibrate everything, releasing any last bit of tension. Squeeze. And then through the mouth, double exhale, release. Allow yourself to settle into your Shavasana, your final resting pose, allowing the breath to flow naturally as we integrate the benefits of our practice for a few moments here. As you're ready to do so, starting to wiggle the fingers, starting to wiggle the toes, starting to reach the arms overhead and the feet out in front for a full body stretch. Rolling onto either side, pausing for a moment, using the bottom arm as a pillow, and then rolling yourself up. One vertebrae at a time, finding any comfortable seated position here. Allowing the breath to return to its natural state. We'll close out our practice with Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Om translating to Om, peace for ourselves and for all beings through all space and time. So allowing the hands to come to prayer in front of the heart, and allowing the goodness, the access, the overflow of our practice to reach out and to benefit all those who are in need of some healing, loving vibrations and energy here. So put the hands in prayer in front of the heart. Let's take a big inhale. Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for allowing me to guide you within this experience.
close out by saying, honoring the highest light in me sees and honors the highest light in you. Hope to see you again soon. Namaste.